Hi everyone. Today I want to take you on a little bit of a journey from Benjamin Franklin to shipping containers, from all of these notebooks that I've got gathering dust to Rubik's Cubes, from competent performers to Obsidian to memory improvement. This journey is all because of this book. How to Take Smart Notes. So if there's one thing I've learned from reading this book, it's that I need to reread all of the books I've read again because I have been doing it wrong. There's a famous quote from Benjamin Franklin. He said, "Read with a pen in your hand." Read with a pen in your hand. And look at all those notebooks, all those notes I've taken over the years. My new understanding is just taking notes is a waste of time. It's what you do with those notes afterwards that really matters. Let's start at the beginning with that shipping container I mentioned earlier. You may know the story of the shipping container. You may not. But the story of the shipping container is less about the box itself and more about this frustrated truck driver who realized that moving goods shouldn't be so difficult. Now, before the early 1960s, global trade was not as simple as it is today. In fact, it has been described as being a chaotic nightmare. So for centuries, loading a ship, it was like playing Tetris. You've got all of these different shapes and you're trying to sort of fit them one after another into a ship. And we know this as break bulk today. So individual stacks of flour barrels, crates, etc. were stacked one at a time. Now, it could take weeks to load a single ship. And it was really, really expensive. So it's slow and expensive. Exact figures, I'm not sure, but I think at least half of the cost of shipping a product abroad was the labor involved in just moving it from the dock onto the ship. So it was labor intensive, it was expensive. It was also very, very risky because all of these things just lying around, they could be dropped, damaged, or liberated by dock workers. Now, in 1937, I think it was, a truck driver was delivering goods to a dock in New Jersey. He was literally waiting for hours and hours and hours while he waited for his truck to be unloaded. And he was looking around at what was going on. He was watching the workers move small batches of cargo from here to here. And his idea, his inspiration was, wouldn't it just be easier to lift my truck up and put it onto the ship? Now, with hindsight, that kind of looks like common sense for you and me today. But all of those years ago, it was innovative. And it actually took nearly 20 years for this truck driver to turn it into some kind of reality. What he did eventually was he sold his truck and his trucking company and he bought an old oil tanker. He wanted to test this theory of his. Some point in the late 1950s, 1956, 1957, he didn't just invent a box, this container. He invented a new system. So they designed this sort of steel reinforced box that could be stacked on top of each other and locked. He bought a ship and he sailed from, I think it was New Jersey to Texas. It only carried 58 containers, but the big result was the cost of actually loading the cargo dropped from something like $6 per ton manual labor to $0.16 per ton. So that's 16 cents. So the main message of the shipping container story is that true innovation isn't just about a better product, it's about a better system. So how is this relevant to note-taking? And more importantly, how is this relevant to you and me? For me, my system was all wrong. I took notes and then filed them away for later use. I had no real way to search or find anything again. In truth, those notes that I showed you in those books, they lost all relevance to me once they were separated from the source material. And to be honest with you, mostly I just forgot about them. So this led to me thinking about you and me again. So shy, socially awkward people and systems. So think systems, not objects, for a minute. In this sort of scenario, you are the object. You are the container. The system is how you interact with other people. So can we create low friction systems that help us deal with interactions better? For me, face-to-face interactions are the worst. So I've started guiding people into side-by-side stance, which for me is more comfortable. I ask them, do it by asking them to look at something, and then it's very natural for me to move to their side while I'm showing them something. Another way I do this is by asking people to walk with me, walk to the coffee machine, for example, and then you walk side by side. Now, you can also use objects like the Rubik's Cube to move people's attention away from you directly. In short, you can create your own rules or system for how you interact. So next time, don't just mingle and make small talk. I don't know, collect data instead, or hand out documents. Make your interactions purposeful. Let's talk about this. Many of you know this toy. I bet many of you had one as a child and you could solve it easily. Well, I needed a little help to solve it. Actually, not this one, but this one. Problem is, if you've ever read the instructions on how to solve the 4x4 or the 5x5, the PDF document I downloaded is full of complex descriptions that don't make any sense to me at all. So having had the idea of rewriting things or writing things down, writing my thoughts down from the book, what I did was I rewrote the algorithms, the instructions in my own words. I renamed everything and I rewrote the algorithms so I could understand. Their system didn't work for me, so I changed the system. Let's talk about a new system for life. This is Obsidian. You may know Obsidian. You may not know Obsidian. Obsidian is basically, I don't know how to describe it, if I'm honest with you. Obsidian is a note-taking application that allows you to create connections between your notes. You can see on the screen that I've taken the book, and you can see here, if I click on highlighter, you can see other notes that are connected to it. Really, what I'm showing you here is a metaphor for how you can create a new system for your life. Here you can see all of the connections and you can see what links one note to another. But what links you to other people? How strong are your connections? If we could visualize that like we can in Obsidian, we would be able to see our weak areas and our stronger connections. But unfortunately, life is not fair like that, and we don't yet have a way to visualize ourselves and our connections. But we can start a new system or a new way we interact with others. And we can start to build stronger bonds, better connections and relationships, and even better friendships. You just have to literally think outside of the box or the container that you're currently in. This book has also taught me a lot about my teaching methods. So there is this idea of being what's known as a competent performer. Competent performers are someone who's new to a subject, who has digested the rule books and follows the rules religiously. Why? Well, because they haven't yet developed the foresight, the knowledge, or the experience to question the rules. In my day job, I have at best helped many people become competent performers. But what I really want to do is help them become experts. Experts, these are the kinds of people who understand the rules, but they're also capable of interpreting them based on new information, new circumstances, people who can change the context. I would like to suggest to you that life is not linear. Life is circular and continuous, where, for example, reading leads to thoughts and ideas, where new ideas lead to other ideas and better connections are made. This is what some people call a growth mindset. A growth mindset is how some people can remember a vast amount of information by creating a connection between the new and the already existing, by elaborating on it, by retrieving knowledge and by thinking in a different context, by connecting old and new together. With deliberate practice, we can change from a linear path to a continuous path. Now, the best predictor of the future is to look at past behavior. You are not going to change or improve your current situation by doing the same things. And let's be honest, good intentions just get in the way of actually changing. So what I want you to do next is download my strategy for creating a new set of systems to help you navigate social interactions on your terms. The link is in the description below this video. And if you're keen to learn more about learning strategies, check out this video here.